Okay, welcome back to another episode of Third and 23. I'm your host, Alex, and I'm here to talk NFL Week 1. Finally here. Week 1 picks and predictions, ATS picks and predictions. If you're new to the channel, top left corner, you're going to see my NFL ATS standings. I started covering NFL last year around week 12, finished around 73%, if I remember right. Obviously, only the games I pick, so I'm not picking every game every week. Only the games that I am personally going to wager on and that I see my model tells me that there's an advantage here for me to place a bet on. So, anyways, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna week one. We got 5 games on tap for week one. So we're going to start it out with the Cardinals at the Bills. The Bills are currently a 6.5 point favorite. Now, if you're talking about Buffalo, a lot has been made. A lot has been made about the loss of Stephon Diggs. I've never seen so much weight being a player carrying so much weight that left the team as Stephon Diggs. That's not a quarterback, right? Like Stephon Diggs leaves Buffalo, and people are acting as if the Bills are gonna go down the toilet or something like that. And I just don't believe that's the case. If you took a look at the stats last year, Stephon Diggs wasn't impactful pretty much all season last year. He didn't make that major of an impact. I mean, he probably averaged like around 50 yards receiving a game, something like that. He was not a major impact for the Bills, and the Bills ended up getting, I want to say, where they had the 2 seed last year. So it wasn't that big of an impact on Buffalo's success last season. I think you got to give that credit to Josh Allen. Josh Allen has developed since his rookie year into one of the top quarterbacks in the league. I know he doesn't have elite weapons outside now. He's going to have a rookie Keon Coleman. He's going to have Curtis Samuel in the slot. Um, I do like Dalton Kincaid at tight end. So I think they're going to really lean on his experience being able to maneuver with an inexperienced core like that and lean on the running game with James Cook. James Cook kind of had a breakout last year. I think they're gonna have a really good running back room. I won't say tandem because I like Ray Davis, the rookie back, to get some carries and to kind of impress. So I like this Buffalo Bills offense to be kind of sneaky good. I think he's got a great quarterback with enough weapons outside, a great tight end to be able to move the ball through the air. And I think James Cook has proven that he's a really good running back in the National Football League. And then defensively, I think the Bills' defense is still going to be very stout. I think they're going to be stout from back to front. And when you're looking at this game and going against the Arizona Cardinals, you're looking at an Arizona Cardinals team that you really don't know what is their identity. I mean, I don't. It seems like half the fan base and the front office there doesn't even really like Kyler Murray as their quarterback. Running back is James Connors. He's had a really good career, but at some point he's got to fade, right? Because he's getting up there in age. And at receiver, I love Marvin Harrison, absolute dog. But what else is out there? Like I just don't know what their identity is on that football team. And then defensively, it's like they're put together with tape and band-aids. You don't really know who's who out there. So this this is a perfect matchup for the Bills offense to really have some success, both running and throwing against a Cardinals team that's not going to be very good defensively. I think you're going to see a lot of confidence build throughout the game in this one offensively for the Bills. And then I don't think Kyler's really going to get off against this Bills defense that's still pretty good. So I'm going with Bills and I'm laying the 6.5. So now moving on, we're going with Texans at the Colts. Texans are a 3 point favorite in this game. Now, these are two good teams, good to strong teams. I think the Texans are actually a Super Bowl contender this year. You have CJ Stroud, who went crazy last year as a rookie. They added Stephon Diggs, and I know I just talked about Stephon Diggs. He still has something left in the tank. And then you bring back Nico Collins, who had the injury last year to end his season. You bring back Tank Dell, who had an injury last year to end his season. So you got 3 wideouts, plus Dalton Schultz at tight end, who's pretty solid tight end. And you got yourself a really good passing game. They added Joe Mixon at running back, so that's an improvement over Damian Pierce and what they had last season. But to be fair, I've never been a big Joe Mixon guy. I don't think he's that great, but he's not awful either. So that's an improvement there in their running game. So they're going to be a balanced team offensively, and they're going to have some serious firepower throwing the football. And they're going to go against a Colts team that's bringing back Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson missed most of last year with injury. So he's back. He should be, well, he's healthy for this game. The question for the Colts is how long does Anthony Richardson stay healthy, as he's had injury issues dating back to his time in college. But they got weapons as well. You got Michael Pittman at receiver. I really like the draft pick of A.D. Mitchell. He's going to see more snaps today because Josh Downs, who was a really good slot rookie receiver last year, has actually been ruled out for this game. So it's passing the ball. It's going to be A.D. Mitchell and Michael Pittman getting the rock from Anthony Richardson, throwing them the football. So you got that, but to balance them out, you got Jonathan Taylor back at running back. So they got a really good offense too. So you're thinking, okay, there's gonna be some points scored in this one. What's going to be the difference in this game is I think that Texans defense is going to be very, very good. They added Daniil Hunter. Now he pairs with Daniil Hunter's had double-digit sacks for the last 5 years, and he's only 29, so he's not washed. And he's pairing with Will Anderson, who had a really good rookie year last season. These guys are going to be bringing heat in this game. Uh, Aziz Al-Shaair at linebacker was a good pickup. And Derek Stingley really came into his own as one of the better corners in the NFL last season. So I think this Texans defense is a lot better than what you're going to see in Indy. And I think that's going to be the difference in this game. I would have liked if this was at 2.5, but reality is I think the Texans can win this game closer to double digits than 3 points. So I'm going with Texans on the road, laying to 3. Moving on, Titans and the or Titans visiting the Bears. Now there's some well, first let's talk about the Bears. You know, they drafted number 1 overall pick was Caleb Williams. Had a great preseason. I think he's going to be rookie of the year. I think it was a great pick by Chicago. They definitely didn't fumble that. They've added Keenan Allen, DJ Moore. They drafted Roma Dunze. They got serious weapons outside. At running back, you've got DeAndre Swift, and you're probably going to see some Khalil Herbert as well. So they've got weapons offensively to help Caleb Williams, and I think Caleb Williams is ready for prime time. I think he is ready for the NFL. I don't think you're going to see a deer in the headlights look from him. With Tennessee, what you got is you got Will Levis back for his second year. I never liked the pick last year. I wasn't a big Will Levis guy, but he's going to be the starter in this game. DeAndre Hopkins headlines the receiving group, but he is going to actually play with an MCL tear. I don't know why, but he's playing with an MCL tear, so that tells you what they got at receiver. If that's their top wideout, still with an MCL tear. And at running back, it's going to be Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard. So now they're really the greatest running back group. Now, there's some record out there about number 1 overall quarterbacks in their first start, and I can't remember what that record is, but it isn't good. It's I want to say they've lost like the last 10 or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but the history doesn't fare well for Caleb Williams. The difference I see is that none of those teams have the roster that this Chicago Bears team has. They really built up this roster. They really built up this offensive firepower for Caleb Williams to succeed. And then when I look at the Bears defense, they got a all pro caliber corner in Jalen Johnson covering a receiver who DeAndre is a great Hall of Fame caliber wideout, but he's at the end of his career and he's playing with MCL tear. The Bears, I don't see any way how they don't wash this team. So I'm definitely laying the 4 in Chicago. I think it's going to be a coming out party for Caleb Williams. Moving on, Cowboys at the Browns. The Browns are 2.5 point favorites in this game. Now the Browns, they bring back Deshaun Watson is back. You know, he got hurt last year, and the Browns made the playoffs off the arm of Joe Flacco, but really was off the defense. The defense was one of the best in the league last year. Flacco's out. Deshaun Watson is back in. Now keep in mind, Nick Chubb, he's still not back off of his knee injury from last year. He's going to play at some point this season, but it's not going to be this week. So you got Deshaun. It's going to basically be Deshaun Watson handing it to Jerome Ford, who's okay, and throwing the ball to Amari Cooper, ex-Cowboy by the way. Um, Elijah Moore's out there receiver, and they still got a really good defense behind them. You know, you got headliners like Denzel Ward on the back end, and of course you got Myles Garrett up front, one of the best defensive ends in the league. Going against the Cowboys team that this offseason really didn't make any changes other than losing players, but they still got Dak Prescott, who finished second in the MVP race last year. At receiver, you still got CD Lamb, the well-paid CD Lamb now, and then at running back, it looks like they're gonna go. They brought in Zeke. They brought Zeke back to Dallas. I guess they're going to go with some committee with Zeke and Rico Dowdle or something like that. So the running game is probably not going to really be there for Dallas. Um, but the passing game should still be pretty strong. The key in this game I see is Cleveland actually has injury issues already. Starting left tackle Jedrick Willis, he's already out. Starting right tackle Jack Conklin, It's looking like he's going to be a game time decision here. It's 11:17 a.m. and I still haven't heard an update on that, but it looks like he might miss this game. So, and even if he plays, he's banged up. So, both your offensive tackle issues against DeMarcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons, best defensive player in the league. I mean, that doesn't bode well for the Cleveland Browns offense and Deshaun Watson, who personally, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I think Deshaun is washed. I mean, unless he's about to show out, right? Man, Deshaun looks washed. I know he used to be good. Ever since his issues, he doesn't look like he got it to me. I mean, there's a huge QB advantage in this game for Dallas. So I was actually surprised to see the Cleveland as a 2.5 point favorite in this game because I expected the Cowboys to be favored. So I got the Cowboys. Give me the 2.5 on the road. And reality, I think the Cowboys are going to win outright, but give me the 2.5 on the road. And then final game, this is gonna be Sunday night football tonight. Rams at the Lions. Lions are a 4.5 point favorite. This is a rematch from last year's playoff game, wild card game, where Detroit won a nail biter, one at the end. I think they won by 3 if I remember right. And this game, you're gonna see for the most part, that same Detroit Lions offense. It's going to be Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, David Montgomery, Jameer Gibbs, firepower offensively on Detroit. Their issue was their secondary, and they made some changes. They drafted Terrion Arnold from Alabama, he's kind of up and down to me, but he's an improvement off of what they had. And they also signed Carlton Davis from Tampa. Again, a guy who's kind of up and down, but has been more ups than downs, in my opinion. And again, an improvement over what they had. So they made some improvements there defensively, and they're going against a Rams team that you got Matt Stafford back, you got Cooper Kupp back, you got Puka Nakua back. But I don't know what it is. Something tells me that this is like a last hurrah of this era of Rams football. How much longer can Matt Stafford go? This guy's been beat up. He had injury issues last year. Puka Nakua was coming into this season with a knee issue, but he's going to play this game. Cooper Kupp was beat up the last 2 years. I guess he's healthy and he's going to play, but is he the same guy? Something about the Rams, I just don't see it. And I definitely don't see it defensively with Aaron Donald gone. That defense takes over a whole new look. And I don't think that defense has anything for this Lions offense. I think the Lions are probably going to go off in this game. I got the Lions covering at home. I'm laying the 4.5. So anyway, there you have it. 5 games on tap for this Sunday. Um, well, it's opening week, so this is kind of a see what we got kind of week in the NFL because you never know. You're kind of based off of last year's uh, rosters and how people played, off-season acquisitions, and then I guess a little bit of the preseason, right? So you don't really know what you're gonna got until you got it. So we're gonna uh, just keep that in mind when you're looking at these week 1 games. But so those are my 5. If you like the content, please like, follow, subscribe, all of that. As you're gonna see my YouTube handle hit in a few seconds. Take care.